Janiyah is a single mother living in a cramped, run-down apartment with her chronically ill daughter, Aria. Life is already hard, but it's about to get much worse. The film opens with Janiyah returning from the hospital. Aria is weak and needs constant care. The apartment walls are paper thin, and the neighbors blasting music means Aria has to sleep wearing headphones. The next morning is tough. Janiyah bathes Aria and warns her not to touch her science project. If it breaks, they can't afford to fix it. Aria innocently reminds her mother that the school's still waiting on her lunch money. It's a small request, but it sets the tone. Everything is a struggle outside. Janiyah offers a few coins to Benny, a disabled man in a wheelchair. It's a small act of kindness, but her landlady sees it and snaps, reminding Janiyah that she's behind on rent and already being evicted. Janiyah pleads, promising to pay during her lunch break after she gets her paycheck. But the landlady won't help her, even refusing to ask the noisy neighbors to turn down their music. They pay their rent, she says coldly. At school, Janiyah promises Aria she'll bring the lunch money later. The principal stares at her with confusion, a small but important detail that will make sense later. Janiyah works at a grocery store, and it's already chaos. One cashier called out sick, and her boss, Richard, doesn't greet her, just orders her to move faster. Customers treat her like she's invisible or incompetent. A woman tries to use food benefits to pay for non-eligible items. When Janiyah calmly explains the policy, the woman's husband throws a bottle at her in rage. Richard doesn't defend her. Instead, he orders her to clean it up fast. A coworker tries to lend her some money, but Janiyah turns it down. She's proud, and besides, payday is today. She just needs to hold on a little longer. Janiyah gets a call from the school. Aria didn't get her lunch money, and she has a suspicious injury. Janiyah insists she fell in the tub, but the teachers are unconvinced. When she asks Richard for a break to go to the school, he reluctantly gives her 30 minutes, but won't release her paycheck. She stops at the bank to withdraw the $47 left in her account, but the ATM declines. The manager, Nicole, tells her that the bank won't allow withdrawals if the account drops below the minimum. Janiyah decides to close it, but the line is too long. Time's ticking. At school, she arrives to find the unthinkable. Child Protective Services is taking Aria away. Janiyah breaks down, screaming and begging, but no one listens. The camera lingers on her heartbreak. This is her tipping point. On her way back, she nearly crashes into a car. The driver, Oliver, is furious. He throws a drink at her, and later, we learn he's also a cop. He follows her, hits her car, and threatens her life. A female officer shows up, and Janiyah explains. But Oliver lies, and since her papers are expired, her car gets impounded. Janiyah walks back to the store in the rain, 2 hours late. Richard fires her on the spot. She begs for her check, pointing out it's right there on his desk. But he coldly tells her it'll be mailed. Desperate, soaked, and furious, she returns later to confront him. But suddenly, 2 armed robbers enter. One uses her name from her badge, and Richard accuses her of being part of the setup. After a struggle, she kills one of the robbers in self-defense. Still, Richard calls the cops on her. Janiyah races to the bank, hoping to finally cash her check. But without ID, she's turned away again. When she pleads, something snaps inside her. She pulls out the gun from earlier and unintentionally triggers a full hostage situation. She never intended to hurt anyone. She just wanted her money to help her daughter. But the police, media, and everyone else think she's dangerous. Tellers and customers panic, thinking the backpack she brought is a bomb. It's actually Aria's science project. Detectives Raymond and Grimes try to talk her down. Nicole becomes her only ally inside, treating her like a human being. Slowly, we learn the full story. No one ever gave Janiyah a real chance. Her story goes viral as Nicole streams the situation. Just when it seems like she might surrender, Janiyah gets a call from her mother, and everything shatters. Aria is dead. She passed away the night before from a seizure. Everything since the school call, CPS, the promise to bring lunch money was a hallucination. Janiyah's mind fractured under grief and stress. Nicole knew but didn't say anything, afraid of breaking her completely. As the FBI prepares to storm in, Janiyah relives the horror in her mind, imagining herself being gunned down. But Nicole gently snaps her out of it. She walks Janiyah out, holding her hand, and Raymond arrests her softly, respectfully. The crowd outside isn't angry. They're chanting her name. Straw isn't about crime. It's not about violence. It's about what happens when people fall through the cracks of every system built to protect them. It's a heartbreaking portrait of a mother's love, a society's failure, and the final moment, the straw, that breaks someone who never deserved to suffer this way. That if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts on this film in the comments. And remember, behind every breakdown, there's often a story no one wanted to hear. Like, subscribe, comment. Do you think Janiyah deserved a different ending? What would you have done in her shoes?